All right, what is going on, everybody? What is going on? The catch fam. I hope you guys are doing great tonight. Hope everybody's looking forward to a fantastic weekend. All right, here we go. There's not a lot of time left, so we can just start churning out some 2026 fantasy football drafts. Going to be hopping into my first actual fantasy football drafts tonight, all through Underdog Fantasy. So, of course, you guys can hop in, draft with me per usual, but we're a little bit behind this year. I got to really start ripping these off. So, I'm excited. I got to warm up a bit. Looks like we've got at least the corgi to hop into. So, should be able to run through some of those. But I do want to get into a couple best ball manias between tonight and tomorrow night as well. So you guys know what we're gonna do. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk some fantasy football, and we're gonna hop into some fantasy football drafts. So I'm gonna go ahead and enter the corgi. I'm not expecting a lot of you guys out there to particularly be in this draft with me, but I'm entering corgi 20 seconds per pick right now. So you guys do want to get in, hop on in here. But like I said, I'm going to hop into a couple drafts tonight. So if you guys missed this one, don't worry. Plenty more coming. Then I will be on tomorrow night as well, if you guys want to hop into some tomorrow night. But any fantasy football questions that you guys have, redraft, dynasty, best ball, whatever it may be, let me know. We're going to talk some fantasy football, have some fun. So 7 spots left in this draft for anyone who wants to get into it. I have not done any underdog drafts this year so far. None at all. So yeah, like I said, I absolutely need to kind of warm up here. 7 spots. Maybe I don't want to jump into a best ball mania right off the bat. But I wonder if those are filling quicker. But we'll hang out for a minute here. What's going on, XX Gamer? Good to see you. What's up? What's up? All right, let me get a couple things going. Yeah, it should be a little bit of a longer stream tonight is the plan. All right, 6 spots. If you guys want to get in, this lobby is wide open. All right, so in terms of fantasy football news since our last stream on Sunday, we got Stephon Diggs heading to the Commanders, which I have been saying for weeks, ever since Jawan Jennings went to the Vikings, because initially I was like, I want Diggs or I want Jennings. And I don't say I preferred Jennings, but I felt like maybe he could come in on a cheaper contract. But either way, those are the guys I've wanted. I never wanted Brandon Ayuk anywhere near the Commanders. So once Jennings went to the Vikings, for me, it was Diggs. You know, I know Tyreek Hill out there, like DeAndre Hopkins. Diggs or Jennings are the guys that I really wanted. So I'm happy about that development. I think it's great for the Commanders' offense as a whole. I really think it's actually going to, if anything, help Terry McLaurin in terms of opening up that offense. I mean, I know we have rookie Antonio Williams there as well. But overall, I think it's a great signing for fantasy football in general. Had a couple contracts. Jonathan Taylor got his bag. Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson. Lots of running backs getting paid, which is kind of crazy to really think back on just a couple years ago when we had like the Josh Jacobs holdout, the Saquon Barkley holdout. You know, a lot of questions about the running back position, how much value, you know, it was perceived at, and now it's, you know, as high as ever, and as high as ever in fantasy football as well. Kenyon Sadiq set to miss the next couple of weeks with a hernia setback. It's not entirely promising. I had not seen this reported anywhere. Probably probably bigger Dynasty news than anything else, but something to pay attention to for sure. Zay Flowers got a bag. Devonta Smith and Mekhi Lemon both have hamstring injuries. They'll be fine. I'm not freaking out about injuries right now, unless it's like a Ricky Pearsall type situation, right? Niners, very banged up. See what happens there. I read something the other day that there's 20 players on the Niners who missed practice this past week. It's crazy. Cam Scatterbo got a little bit banged up today. See if anything develops out of that. Oh, yeah. Debo went to the Niners. Guess I should have brought that up when I talked about Diggs, but Debo headed to the Niners. That was the other player. Like, if Jennings or Diggs didn't work out, I was like, why don't we just bring back Debo? But yeah, with that Pearsall injury, and I mean, not just Pearsall. We've got Mike Evans and DeJohn's Stribling, excuse me, a little bit banged up as well. So the Debo signing made a lot of sense for the Niners. All right, 3 spots. I thought this would fill way quicker, being that it's August. But maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe this tournament's just not as popular. Let's see. I bet you a lot of people are entering slow puppies. I always liked the Corgi. Oh, we got the Dalmatian. It's $1 entry. Oh, we also have the puppy. We had a lot of options. I just chose the Corgi. All right, so I bet you the Dalmatian is really popular right now because it's $1 entry. All right. I don't know. I feel like we're so close to getting this filled. I think I'm just going to wait it out. I was thinking about leaving. We got all kinds of options. Corgi's $25K to first. Puppy is $100K to first. Probably why it's a little bit more popular. All right, let's just do it. Let's leave the draft. I'm ready to go. I want to draft a team right now. I don't want to wait. I mean, maybe because it's not even 8 p.m. All right, I'm going to do a Dalmatian. $1. Can't beat that. This has got to be filling quickly. I might just enter. I don't know. I feel like this is going to fill quickly. I was about to say, I might just enter all right, yeah, this is going quickly. Okay. All right, boys and girls, here we go. Let's do it. Get you guys a draft board there. All right, now we're cooking. All right, make sure I'm set up. All right, I'm excited now. 1.1. Andrew, good to see you. Hello, hello. All right, guess I'm going Hero RB. I remember the last 2 years, all my underdog drafts, I was like, maybe it was 2 years ago for sure, that I just consistently kept getting the 1.1 or the 1.2 for like weeks straight, it felt like. All right, here we go. Finally. How long did that take? Almost 10 minutes. All right, let's just go Gibbs. Who do you guys prefer, Gibbs or Bijan at the top of the board? It's really splitting here. It's really 1A, 1B for me. Are you guys prone to going wide receiver there, maybe with a Chase or Puka? All right. So looking ahead here, we have picks 24 and 25. So I'm probably going to go back to back wide receiver. Looking in like that Nico, Pickens, Rasheed Rice, Malik Neighbors area. Other names like Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers right outside. You got Jeremiah Love. It's the top ranked running back there. See what happens. Now, you guys prefer Gibbs. I think that's where I'm at as well. Do I still have a badge? Okay, good. I like my badge. All right, so these next two picks should be pretty easy. Probably just going back to back wide receiver. Then I got picks 48, 49. Who's going around there? Probably going to be targeting like a DeAndre Swift in that range. Get my RB2. Maybe reach a little on like a Quinshon Judkins. I like around that area a lot as well. Maybe a Trayvon Henderson. I will say Henderson is a type of player that I actually kind of really like right now in like a best ball format. Not as much in redraft, but in best ball, I think Hendo is still going to have a lot of like those spike weeks that we got out of him last year. So you guys know me. I don't mind reaching, but there are some wide receivers around there that I still like. Like I like Devontae Adams. See what happens. All right, into the second round we go. Let's go. Yeah, I feel like whether you are, doing a mock for redraft purposes or you're in best ball drafts right now, this kind of turn at the end of the first going into the second, it's just like this cluster of running backs. Cook, Hampton, Walker, Genty, Barkley, Henry, Chase Brown, A-Chain, Jeremiah Love, maybe even. See what happens. All right, got the oh man, I was hoping Neighbors might fall here. See, like Neighbors ADP, I feel like is a little bit skewed. And now with all these reports of him actually being healthy, I don't think he's going to go as late as he was. Man, I'm just not. Is it just me? I'm just not crazy about Drake London in this range. I'm going to go Pickens. I'm going to go Rasheed Rice. Skip out on Nico there, although I don't have any problem if you wanted to go Nico there. We'll go slightly against ADP here. Well, in terms of Nico. All right, what running backs would you avoid in rounds 2 and 3, as well as wide receivers? Good question. I mean, generally, my outlook is like always. I like to have a little bit of exposure to all players. Is ideally the goal. So I'm not really one of these people who really looks at, like I think you should avoid players X, Y, and Z. This has never really been something that I do. I think there's a chance that Kenneth Walker is being slightly overdrafted at his ADP. I think that there's a couple other names at running back in that tier that could easily finish ahead of Walker. I will say I'm avoiding tight ends that early. I'm avoiding paying the premium price of a Brock Bowers or Trey McBride, although that doesn't really answer your question. But I don't really think that there's a lot of running backs or wide receivers in either rounds 2 or round 3 that I feel like you need to quote unquote avoid. I'm a little bit lower on Drake London. I don't dislike Nico Collins. I'm just not as excited about the Texans offense, although Nico was still the wide receiver 8 last year. And wasn't he a little bit banged up last year too? I mean, there's nothing wrong with Nico. He only played 15 games. Am I crazy? I don't know why. I'm just a little bit lower on Drake London. Man, there goes Swift. It's all right. Goes Travis Etienne. Travis A-Chain. Whatever we're calling him. Yeah, I do not like this tier of running back. I just don't. I'm going to reach against ADP. I'm going to go Juckins. Not crazy about Monty. I think Tootin's probably okay right here. I don't dislike wide receiver here. Like I like Adams. But I'm going to go Henderson, like we talked about earlier, for some of those like spike weeks. Although I really don't mind Tootin there. Yeah, I think Adams is a very good pick there as well. Maybe could have gone for a little bit more balance there. But I'm probably going to stay away from the running back position for quite some time. All right, so we have picks 72, 73. Let's see who's going around that range. Would love to see a Marvin Harrison Jr. fall to us. I don't think that's going to happen. I'll draft QJ in that range all day long. I like Sutton. Don't mind Josh Downs. Man, I will say I forgot how drastic the drop-off at wide receiver can be. But there's some later names I like here. Wan'Dale Robinson, Jacoby Myers. We'll see what happens. Man, Bucky is really... And I understand why Bucky's falling, but crazy to see how much. Ander, what's going on? Another year of fantasy football. Let's get it. Good to see you. What's up? What's up? And if you guys aren't aware, I did make content all off season long on the Dynasty channel with the boys from Fantasy Endgame. Just now getting back into the redraft channel. Here goes my boy QJ. Parker Washington, Roma Dunze, really good values there. Really good values. All right, probably going to go back-to-back wide receiver. Probably going to try and see, like, if I went for Dak, I'm probably going to try and hit Mahomes as my stack at quarterback. Man, just sniped on my boy Marv. I'm just going to go Makai Lemon. And I'm going to go a little bit against ADP and go Cortland Sutton. I almost took the Jalen Hurts stack. Almost. Yeah, that was hard to avoid. But like I said, I might be able to still hit the Mahomes stack with Rice. So I think I'm going to go for that. I feel like I needed that depth at wide receiver a little bit more. But Jalen Hurts at pick 74 is a great value. All right, we're looking okay here. Do you have Judkins and Henderson sharing the same bye week, as well as Lemon and Sutton sharing the same bye week? So we want to avoid weeks 10 and weeks 11 as this draft moves on. We'll see. Still got Prescott, Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Mahomes, Purdy available. So I think we got a good shot at getting Mahomes here at pick 96. We'll see what happens. Then at pick 97, kind of like just a best player available situation. I'm probably going to go wide receiver, if not tight end. Unfortunately, a lot of the later round running backs that I like may not be there around pick 120. We might be making some gross picks to finish out this RB room. Love Chuba Hubbard in this range, just if anyone's curious. I mean, he's not going to fall to us, but I feel like at this point in the draft, he's a great value. Goes Harvey and Jonathan Brooks, Chuba Hubbard's teammate. All right, right now, we still have Prescott available. We got a few teams here who already have QBs. He's got Lamb. He did not take him. He took Lamar a little bit early. There goes Prescott. No stack there. Goes Trevor Lawrence with the new hairdo. I feel like QB is now going a little bit at a premium here. All right, we'll see if we get Mahomes. If we don't, probably just opt out at QB to like pick 120. I'm not afraid of no late round QBs. I just prefer to have a stack. All right, let's see if I get sniped here. I gave this guy, come on, man. I gave him the gift of Jalen Hurts. He snipes me. All right. Let's go Laporta. Let's get a little correlation with our first tight end to running back. We're going to come back to quarterback. You know what? We'll go Purdy here. We'll go Purdy, actually. Because I don't know that Goff is going to be there at 120. But I'm never ashamed to have a little Brock Purdy on my team. Gosh, that was a brutal snipe, though. Brutal. All right, but we got our QB, tight end out of the way. Almost went Kenneth Gainwell, who I think would have been a really nice like RB4 for this team. See what happens. I'm going to try and get, if I can get George Kittle at 120, I'm definitely going to do that. Might have to try and target a Deebo Samuel. But I also need to get some running back depth, especially being that Judkins and Hendo have the same bye. Oops. Got to have some sort of stack going on. Andrea says that's BS. It happens. Part of the game. What can you do? All right, already into round 10. I don't mind taking Goff if he's there. I mean, that would basically do it at quarterback. Oh, yeah. That works. I have no idea if he'll be available, but there's a couple names here that I really like. Top of the board. There goes Gainwell. He's one of them. But Goff, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jacoby Myers, Kyler Murray, Kittle would make sense for this team. There goes Kittle. There goes Robinson. Yeah, so now I actually have to target Debo, which doesn't feel great. But all right, this guy is like intentionally. Like, what is this? Why do you need these 3 quarterbacks? I don't want to say it's intentional. It's probably not that serious, but let's go Kyler. Running back is kind of gross, but I'm going to go Aaron Jones over Debo just for the correlation to Kyler. Not ideal. Yeah, that Goff snipe was that one felt. I don't know. That felt almost intentional, but probably not that serious. All right, I would love to land a Jawan Jennings on this team. Let's go for a little Kyler action, Kyler stack. Would still like to get some sort of correlation to Brock Purdy, but if it doesn't happen, it's really not the end of the world. Could always, where is it? Jake Tunge is going pretty late. Could always kind of target him towards the end. But yeah, we're sitting at Brock, Kyler Murray at QB, Laporta at tight end, 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers: Gibbs, Judkins, Henderson, Aaron Jones, Pickens, Rashee Rice, Mekhi Lemon, Cortland Sutton. We've seen better. We've seen worse. You need to not say what you like till you draft the person. Yeah, that's true. Always happens this way, it feels like. It's okay. We're just warming up. We got a lot of drafts to go. And this is what, $1 entry? I'm not worried about it. All right, so I was really hoping Ferguson for some reason would fall. He's a great value, yeah, stacked with Prescott. I mean, Ferguson is a ridiculous value there, in my opinion. There goes Debo. He's gone. Danny Dimes gone. All right. Both of these are against ADP, but I'm going to go Jennings and or Denzel Boston. Add some depth at receiver. All right, so now moving into picks 168, 169. I would like to get a running back of sorts, being that we're a little light. Not a lot of names that I love. Also need to keep an eye on tight end, but like there are some names here later, like AJ Barner. Even Hawkinson makes sense with his build. Yeah, I mean, Jake Tunges makes sense. I think Tajay Spears is a good value there. This was an interesting draft. I ended up with a lot of Vikings. A lot of Vikings. which maybe is something to be cognitive of. Vikings players going at a cheap rate right now. All right. 14th round. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody that I had queued up who was not a tight end is gone. I mean, like, part of me kind of likes Charbonnet. It's an RB5. I feel like Gadsden's actually a pretty good pick there. Let's go Hawkinson. And I'm going to go AJ Barner. I'm going to wrap out tight end because Hawkinson's got the same bye week as Laporta, so. But Charbonnet was the other player that I really liked there. All right, moving on picks 192, 193. Would love to see Antonio Williams fall. Where did Diggs go? I'm just curious. Pick 105. $192, $193. I don't know, man. After last night, I might just draft Carson Beck. All right, so Jeremy Bernard, Cyrus Allen, Emmett Johnson. Let's get some rookie action in here. Jacoby Lane. Katron Allen. Haven't heard much about Elijah Surratt, my boy. Heard a lot more about Jacoby Lane. Christian Kirk is hurt. We're going to stick with two quarterbacks here, Purdy and Murray. Probably need to add another running back, even if it's a long shot. Probably only want to draft RBs and wide receivers to wrap up here. I was about to say, Jerry Jeudy is kind of a good value here. Tank Dell. Interesting to kind of see Antonio Williams. Oh, there we go. Of course, as soon as I mentioned him, but interesting to see him get pushed back a little. All right, let's take Cyrus Allen. Although we did not land Mahomes, we got sniped. Let's get another Chiefs wide receiver. And let's go Emmett Johnson. Actually, yeah, let's go Emmett Johnson. Let's snag up a couple Chiefs. Correlate to the rest of this roster. I do like Jacoby Lane in this range. Been hearing a lot of good buzz about him out of training camp. And the wide receiver 2 spot on that team is basically open. Unless you're considering Mark Andrews the wide receiver 2. All right, so for the final pick here, final pick of the draft. Going to be a wide receiver, running back. Not super exciting news. And then let's hop into another one. Maybe a puppy. It's a good warm-up round. What a weird team. Purdy, Kyler, Gibbs, Juckins, Henderson, Jones, Emmett Johnson, Pickens, Rice, Lemon, Sutton, Jennings, Boston, Cyrus, Allen, Laporta, Hawkinson, A.J. Barner. Yeah, we got the Viking squad to open it up. To make sure we tell Pete about this. Probably no running backs here that I really want to take a shot on. Maybe like Braylon Allen. Brees Hall gets hurt. Kamani Vidal if Hampton gets hurt, but I'm interested to see if Jake Tunges did get drafted because I almost punted tight end to try and get Tunges just because we got Purdy on this team. Let's go Caleb Douglas. We got a little rookie action to wrap up that draft. All right. Let's get out of there. And if you guys want to draft, we are entering the Puppy 3. Time for a puppy. 7 spots. Six spots. Five spots. Three spots. One spot, and we are filled, ladies and gentlemen. On to the 112. All right, I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, so picks 12 and 13. I feel like I'm going to be forced to go double hero RB here, which I'm okay with. Go double hero RB, then go with like 4 wide receivers in a row. Probably the move. All right, second draft is underway. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I feel like there's no choice. I mean, I guess unless a wide receiver falls. Yeah, at the 112 now. Like I said, opposite end of the board. Unless a wide receiver falls, there's just no way. I'm not going back-to-back running backs here. I definitely prefer a later first round pick. Always have. Can make it work from anywhere, but Yeah, so like JJ could fall here. I kind of want to go double RB though. All right. Let's I don't dislike anyone here. Let's go Genty and Hampton. Let's go with the sophomore RBs. All right, then moving to picks 36 and 37. Well, let me look at all players. Maybe in line for a Josh Allen, but you guys know I'm not going to do that. Ooh. Could maybe be tempted to go Javonte Williams. But I think I want to go back-to-back wide receiver. I'd really like to get a Lad McConkey, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm looking at probably like Waddle and T-Mac, which I'm also not. I mean, I feel pretty good about that. I get the Chargers stack, though. Wouldn't hate that by any stretch. You guys have any preference out of these wide receivers? Waddle, T Mac, Garrett Wilson, Luther Burden, kind of a weird little tier. If we're going to go running back there, it's basically just Javonte. Big jump. Javonte at an ADP of 36.2. Jacobs at an ADP of 41. We could see someone fall here. Yeah, no shot I was getting Lad. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. I mean, Brees Hall, Javonte. I do really like Javonte in this range, but I'll go back-to-back wide receiver. Go Waddle and T-Mac. Feel good there. Oh, we still see Javonte falling here. ADP of 36.2. All right, so moving into pick 60 and 61. Probably going back to the wide receiver position. Back to back. There's an interesting little tier. We got Rome Odunze, ADP of 59.9. I love him in that range. You got Jadarian Price at 61.7. Parker Washington at 62. B. Thomas 62.8. Tyler Warren. Jordan Tyson. Drake May. Jaden Daniels. MH. Junior. Joe Burrow. Jalen Warren. So honestly, I think no matter what, I'm going to feel pretty good about these picks. See what happens. I think I'm going to try and target Bo Nix as a QB in this build. He's got a super late ADP. If I could land him at 108, I'd be ecstatic. Do I go for Bryce Young? Just go super cheap at QB too. I got 157. It's a possibility for sure. Man, Parker Washington, way against ADP. Got an interesting tier of available running backs. Monty, Tootin, Judkins, Henderson, Bucky. There goes Tootin. I'd also love to land a Christian Watson. He's a top available wide receiver based on ADP. Here's an interesting build. JSN, Bowers, Love, Jacobs, Monty. I really like this team from the 1-2. Bijan, Neighbors, Smitty, JMO, Parker, Washington. A lot of upside there at wide receiver on top of Bijan. Oh, there goes. As soon as I say a player, they're gone. All right, there goes Tate. Guy could really go any direction, but he needs wide receiver help. Man, Lamar's available right now. Henderson. All right, a lot of players that I like here, but I'm going to go Roma Dunze as my wide receiver 3. I'm going to go MH over Brian Thomas just because I think Jacoby Myers could be available later. Yeah, Lamar is a hard pass right there, but I just don't. It's just not me. Don't go QB. Jadarian Price would have been a great selection. B. Tom, Tyler Warren. I mean, that was a pretty stacked cluster there. JW, what's up, bro? Don't worry, we're going into another one after this. All right, getting into picks 84, 85. J-Dubs, I need you to drop the knowledge, correlation. Who we chasing? Who are the week 17 matchups? All right, 84, 85. Would love to get a Chupa Hubbard. I can't forget about Bo Nix. Can't forget about Bo Nix. This team is contingent on it. But right now, QB is being pushed back a bit in this draft. So if I can get Chuba, then I'm probably going to go wide receiver unless I go tight end there. I love like a Jordan Addison as a wide receiver 5. I'd feel really good about. How's the Underdog Streets been away for about a month? These were my first Underdog drafts of the year, so I just finished the first one. I feel like I'm warming up still. I'm not the one to ask, but we're gonna find out one way or another. Dang, there's my boy QJ. One of these drafts, I'll end up with Quinn Johnston on my team. I want to have like 70% exposure to Quinn Johnson. All right. Tony Pollard's still available. J-Dubs, this is draft number 2. Yeah, I want to hit, and now we're getting a big run at QB. If I can get Bo Nix at pick 108, I'm going to feel really good. If I don't get him, probably just going to default. I don't know to who. Somebody else. All right, but let's go Chuba. I mean, I guess I could go Justin Herbert here for Hampton, but I'm not going to do it. Let's go Addison. Because we can keep Kyler Murray as a backup. Man, I'm going to end up with so much Kyler Murray this year. I already know it. J-Dub says, how much for Rashad White? I wish I had 100% exposure. So far, 0. Didn't land any Kenneth Gainwell or Rashad White in the last draft. Those are going to be my two. Those are the two guys in the RB4 range that I love. I love Blake Corum and Kyle Monangai as well. Also, really like Rico Dowdle. But yeah, Kenny Gainwell and Rashad White. A little bit of a later ADP. See what happens. All right. I'm not going to say anything for these next 2 rounds or whenever, because I don't know. I'm just going to jinx myself. And I don't need that bad juju in my life. Are we kind of spooked on Minnesota quarterback situation, or do we trust Kyler? I trust Kyler. I'm going down in the flames with Kyler. All reports are indicating that it's Kyler's. It's not JJ McCarthy. So I think most of the reports have been pretty promising if you're on the Kyler train. I feel like Michael Pittman's a good value here. All right, 9th round. Let's go. We got, here's the squad right now. Genty, Hampton, Chuba, Waddle, T-Mac, Rome, MH, Jordan Addison. Looking pretty good. Bye weeks aren't overlapping too badly here. Waddle and Rome. We can get past that. Chuba and Tet. I might just go tight end with this next pick. Might go Stephon Diggs. But yeah, Jay does. I'm not spooked about Kyler. I feel like the risk reward is worth it where he's going in drafts. Harold Fannin, nice pick there. Juan Dale, a good pick here. All right. I wasn't saying anything because I just wanted Bo Nix. I just wanted the Waddle Nix stack, and I was so afraid I was not going to get it. All right, Kenneth Gainwell or Rashad White here. We got gold. I like Kyle Pitts here. Kyler Murray makes a lot of sense for this team, though. Let's go Kenny Gainwell. Rashad White would have been happy with that. As he's selected with his new teammate Diggs back to back there. There goes Kyler. Yeah, could have landed 2 stacks there. Could have gone Addison with Kyler as well as Nix with Waddle. But that's okay. All right, so 132, 133. Man, I will be ecstatic with Jake Ferguson as my tight end one. I also don't. You guys know me. I have no problem going late round tight end ever. All right. 4 running backs, 5 wide receivers. I like this team a little bit more than the last. So 132, 133. Might small chance I go back to back tight end. If not, it's really just tight end and then best player available, but it's a strange little tier. Like I might be drafting Debo Samuel. And like Debo, Stribling, Travis Hunter, Omar Cooper, McMillan. I'd rather just wait till like pick 156. Take Jawan Jennings. Kyler Murray, Jawan Jennings gonna be like my favorite late round stack of the year. J-Dubs, I'll be hopping into another draft right after this one. You can pick what contest. Puppy, Dalmatian. Might just be sticking with the cheaper ones tonight. And then tomorrow do some best ball mania. That goes likely. Still got Kittle, Kelsey, and Andrews all available. I need to draft Bryce Young. So I'm probably going to pick him at the next turn. But I don't know. Where's man of the hour going? Haynes King, ADP of 216. Might just need to draft him after what we saw last night. Was last night not the best preseason game ever? Ever? I'll watch out for this guy. He drafted Coker, but maybe not. He's got 2 quarterbacks. All right, yeah. I think Jake Ferguson is a massive, massive value. Yeah, this tier just sucks. So I think I'm going to go back to back tight end and just kind of be done with tight end until like the final round, throw a dart at somebody. But we'll go Ferguson and Andrews there. I actually don't mind like Aaron Jones or Woody Marks be my RB5, but in a double hero RB approach, you really just got to like trust those first 2 RBs that you drafted to carry your team. So yeah, back to back tight end, never exciting, but it's part of the roster. So we got Nix, Genty, Hampton, Chuba, Gainwell, Waddle, T. McAdunze, Marv, Addison, Fergie, Andrews. Interesting little squad here. I like it though. Puppy it is, J-Dubs. Maxing out all the Pitbull contests. Yeah, everyone turned off the game last night. Bro, it's like the best. That's got to be the best Hall of Fame game of all time. A little Carson Beck. We've just been so deprived of football. There's nothing like that. I was kind of disappointed that um, we didn't get to see Jeremiah Love, but they announced that pretty early in the week that they weren't going to play him. All right, 156. Would love to see Denzel Boston fall here. I don't really want to double tap into Minnesota wide receivers. I feel like Trey Tucker has some value here. Like in general, I do like Jawan Jennings here, but I also like Tajay Spears. Goes Denzel Boston. Man, Daniel Jones might be the biggest sleeper in this range. But I need the correlation. I need the T-Max stack. How do we feel about Alvin Kamara as a late selection? You know I'm a football fiend. Yeah, Danny Dimes, I feel like a great like QB3 right there with Kyler, and I'm gonna go Tajay Spears. And then I gotta go Bryce Young. I'm happy with those picks, actually. We got Knicks with Waddle. We got Bryce Young with Chuba and T-Mac. Tight end, a little veteran-esque, but not looking bad. Genty, Hampton, Chuba, Gainwell, Spears. Basically done at running back. Waddle, T-Mac, Rome, Marv, Addison, Fergie, and Andrews. Still got 4 picks, so we're going to take some dart throws at wide receiver. Probably add another tight end at the end. 180, 181. I would like a little Antonio Williams, maybe. Maybe a little Calvin Ridley. I think I'm going to buy into the Cyrus Allen hype. I like Jacoby Lane. Like Caleb Douglas. Just any positive training camp report on a rookie is that's what's playing in the ADP right now. I guess if I was going to go with another QB, it's going to be Mendoza, Gino, a Falcons quarterback, Cardinals quarterback, a Browns quarterback. Wow, it's just disgusting. I'm usually like a 2 QB and done kind of guy. But 3 never hurts. I don't think, at least. Yeah, 100% just going for upside to wrap up here. 5 running backs should do. I do really like AJ Barner. Especially like if he's your tight end 3. There he goes. But yeah, I really like him in this range. And Hawkinson's okay, I guess. All right, call me crazy, but I feel like Jerry Judy's a decent value. He's like your wide receiver 6. Just scouring the list here. Greg Dulcich. No. No, Jerry. All right, let's go Antonio Williams. Let's go Calvin Ridley. I could really care less about these last two picks. Knicks and Bryce Young. So I guess Evan Ingram, though, kind of like Justin Jolly. Jatavion Sanders, still the tight end one for the Panthers, right? Caught 3 passes last night. Say no more. We're targeting him. Basically a free pick. Any wide receivers here down in the depths? Might kind of like Tyquan Thornton to have like 4 good games or whatever, you know? Man, whatever happened to the Jalen Tolbert hype? I guess the Dolphins drafted a couple wide receivers, but yeah, it's the Dolphins. Yes, sir. What's up, Taylor? We're hopping into a puppy after this one. Halbert was good, bro. Yeah, I'm never going to be happy about drafting Jerry Jeudy, Brown's 4th best receiving option. Yeah, but I mean, we're like picks. We're deep. We're deep in the depths here. This is a puppy, Taylor. Ridley over Jeudy is definitely fair. I would set my ranks to max of Dalmatians through auto picks. Probably worth it based on the money. How many can you enter? 100? So this is actually a puppy, J Dubs. The draft before this was a Dalmatian. This is already the second draft. Second draft of the night. But yeah, I mean, I did that last year. I got a certain amount of money in my account. I just entered like 28 slow drafts or something, like the last 2 weeks of August or whatever it is, last week of August. I have no issue doing that. Yeah. But yeah, I guess Dalmatian is only going to be around for so long. Maybe not long at all. Sniped on the Cyrus Allen. All right. Darnell Mooney's gone. All right, I'm going to go Jacoby Lane and Evan Ingram. There we have it. Bo Nix, Bryce Young. Bo's got Evan Ingram and Jeudy. Bryce Young's got Chuba and Tet. Outside of that, we got Genty, Hampton, Gainwell, Spears, Waddle McMillan, Adunze, Harrison, Addison, Williams, Ridley, Jacoby Lane, Fergie, Andrews, Evan Ingram. It'll do. It'll do. All right. Let's get ready, boys and girls. Taylor, J-Dubs, give me a thumbs up that you guys are ready. I want to wait until I see that in the chat. I'm going to count down and enter. Try and get us all together here. J-Dubs is ready. Taylor, I don't know if you're drafting, but I'll wait a minute. Yeah, I kinda like being in a ridiculous amount of slow drafts at the same time. I get to, like, do a draft pick every hour of the day or whatever. I'll give it 1 more minute, and then we'll count down. Do, 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 do. Alright. Entering in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Puppy 3, 20 seconds per pick. My gosh, it filled right away, I swear. Every other draft tonight's been like 7 spots. Bro, are you kidding me? I guess we're not together, J-Dubs, unless you change your username. Every other draft, it's taken like 5 minutes to fill. All right. Honestly, I'm probably gonna do one more after this, so yeah, draft alongside. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, the 111 here. So I'm might be looking at a similar build to the last draft. Might be going wide receiver first. Backside the board, always go double RB. Yeah. I generally agree, but if like a JJ falls, like last draft JJ went at the 111. I don't know. Especially with how late Kyler's going. Ooh, and like Lamb's on the board here. Oh, Lamb and JJ. Let's go Lamb. Hampton goes at the 110. Man, I was hoping that guy would go double RB. I would have loved to go Lamb JJ. All right, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's go Barkley. I really don't mind any running back here. Yeah, I almost wish that like Lamb and JJ weren't there. Like I wish I could have just gone double hero RB. Imagine if you're at the 112 and someone passes on Lamb there and you get Lamb and JJ to start. But yeah, we'll try and get a little bit of some NFC East correlation, I guess. 35-38. What are we looking at? I would love to get Lad McConkey. Maybe get a Javonte Williams. Sticking with the theme here. I think I'm going to go wide receiver, running back, back to back, little bounce back for like the first 6 or 8 rounds. And maybe get Dak Prescott in there. He's at pick 80. I don't know. He'd have to fall to 83 for me. And whoever drafts Pickens might be after him too. Lamb JJ would have been an incredible start. Yeah, I would like to get Javonte there for sure. Slowly drafting eliminators this season. Still rocking with the eliminators. I never got into it. I just it's too much for me. How did you end up last year with them? I don't think I truthfully I don't think I'm gonna max any contest. I'm basically gonna stream Friday and Saturday nights as long as I can go. This weekend, next weekend, the weekend after that. Then I'm gonna be out of town the following weekend, and then we'll have one more weekend. So we got time. The NFL season starts a little bit later this year than usual. I don't know if I'm happy about that or not. There goes Josh Allen. All right. I was like tripping out. Didn't see Javante. It was scrolled down a little bit. Ooh, man. I didn't see Olave. It's a great value on Olave. It's a great value on a lot of players. Got Olave, Higgins, and Ladd available here. If I can turn around and get Ladd right here, I'm going to be stoked. This guy picking from the 112 has been in a great situation. All right, hold on. This is like lagging. Yeah, getting Olave there is crazy. And he goes Ladd. Oh, man. I wish I went Ladd over Javante. That's how much I like Ladd. I guess I'm just go T. Higgins here. It's going to be T. Higgins. Man, Chanty, JJ, Olave, Ladd's a great start. I feel like I kind of fumbled this a little bit. I mean, Javante was still would have been the top back there if he had went running back, but oh well. Taylor Eliminator is the only contest I've consistently made profit on. That's definitely fair. Hard to, I mean, it's just gotten harder and harder to actually profit off a lot of the entries. Phantom Task, I got pick 10 in a 12-man league sleeper. No, you're not cooked. Pick 12 is great. Let's go double hero RB. Definitely not cooked. And I prefer to pick at the end of the board, anyways. Last year wasn't lucrative like the previous year, so I'm targeting smaller contests with better advanced rates. Best Ball Mania only gets a couple of lottery tickets for me. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that lag there was tripping me out. Really like this start. You like my start? Let's go. That's right. Right. I just see. I mean, I don't know if Javante would have made a pass pick 35, but Olave and Ladd sitting right there. I don't know, man. I don't know. But now we definitely got to land Dak. Gotta hope he's there at pick 83. But yeah, I feel like ADP is a little bit skewed here. Let's see. For Javante over Love. Sorry, my computer's freaking out. Hall and Kyron. I'm not completely opposed to that. Gosh, my keyboard keeps unplugging. And Jacobs, yeah, I'm not completely opposed to that mindset. All right, so I got to lock back in. What we got here? Picks 59 and 62. Love to get a Christian Watson share on this squad. We're pretty even. 2 RBs, 2 wide receivers. Might go Parker Washington. Not really any. You got like Bucky Irving at ADP of 55. Then we jump all the way to Jalen Warren at ADP of 71. There goes Watson. I would pick Henderson if he's here. Still plenty of upside. He's not there. Oh, he is here. Yeah, I'm just go Henderson. I like him as an RB3. Then I'm gonna go with Dunze. I love a Dunze in this range. Oh, I forgot. I'm not on the clock. If I can get a Dunze here, I feel great. Yeah, this is basically what I wanted to do. Just bounce between running backs and wide receivers. Yeah, give me a Dunze. Yeah, got 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs. I feel pretty good here. Kind of see all wide receivers from Smitty through Waddle as one big tier. Yeah. I would maybe even argue Pickens is in there. Maybe. I guess he's right on. I guess he's closer to Nico and Neighbors, Lundo. Yeah, Smitty, Rice, Flowers, Ibuka, Olave, Ladd, Higgins, Luther Burden, Garrett Wilson, Waddle, even T Mac for me. I mean, I really like T Mac. I'm a little bit more partial to drafting a Dunze a little bit later over Burden. But yeah, I basically agree. Like I think that tier of wide receiver really makes a double hero RB approach pretty strong. It's like you're still getting a wide receiver one there. You know, basically 2 wide receiver ones. As opposed to like I mean the running backs there are okay, don't get me wrong. Started off Puka, A Chain, Flowers, Evans, Hendo. Not bad. How do we feel about Mike Evans right now, guys? All right, so I got picks 83 and 86. Gunning for Dak. I don't know if I'm gonna get Dak though. If we don't, we'll survive. I think. So if we don't go Dak, probably just going best player available. See, I really wanted to get Ladd because I'd be in a really good spot to draft Justin Herbert. But like, I'm okay going Sutton, like Rico Dowdle is my RB4. I might go back to back wide receiver, pick 107. Maybe get like a Rashad White, Wan'Dale Robinson. There's some options. I even try to just go Tucker Kraft this next pick, but we gotta see who's available here. It's a waiting game now. Someone to catch balls in San Francisco. That's true. That's true. Are we worried about him being a little bit banged up last year? Age, anything? Dang. Goes Sutton. There goes Downs. Goes Kraft. Can't pull a 4 or 5 draft slot to save my life this year, so Puka CMC shares are weak. Yeah, I do feel like that's one thing that happens. You kinda, like, consistently get the same draft picks no matter what you do. Alright, so I'm gonna get Caleb or Dak, so either way, I'm happy here. I might try to get both if I can make that reality. Can't, but I'll go Dak. You get Luther Burden, so it makes sense. T-Law with Parker, Caleb with Luther. We'll take Dak there. I think I'll go best available wide receiver. Mekhi Lemon, Alec Pierce, Jordan Addison, Godwin, Michael Wilson. But I do like Chuba Hubbard a lot too. I just know wide receiver is going to fall in a bad way. Eh. I'll go Chuba. I really like Chuba in this range. Take Chuba as our RB4. It's going to be an interesting team. Thoughts on the first preseason game last night? Did you watch? Yeah. There's really not a lot of takeaways. It was a great game. We talked about it earlier on the stream. Probably the best Hall of Fame game ever. We've been deprived of football, so it's very exciting. Carson Beck. I mean, I really had this thought process for a while though, but like he can easily work his way into starting reps this year. There's really nothing to take away from it from a fantasy perspective, unfortunately, though. We were watching the Panthers and Cardinals second, third, fourth stringers on defense. There really isn't anybody who played last night that's going to be a fantasy relevant week one or fantasy relevancy. It was good to have some football back though, for sure. But yeah, Haynes King probably gonna be the backup in Carolina if the trajectory continues here. But yeah, unfortunately, there's really nothing to take away from it. Even like, outside of Carson Beck, maybe taking some shots in Dynasty on a guy like Haynes King and Superflex formats if you're in a deep enough league. But it's probably going to be Bryce Young. There's really not a lot from a fantasy perspective for us to pull away from there. Unfortunately, you have different preseasons where like sometimes earlier in the preseason more starters play, sometimes later in the preseason more starters play. We've seen it happen different ways, different years. But yeah, last night, not really anybody of relevancy. I don't know what I'm going to do with these next two picks. Brock Purdy's gone. Dobbins is gone. Wow, there's a lot of players I like here. So Kenny G, that'll do it at running back. I'll go Jacoby Myers or Wan'Dale Robinson with this next pick. And I'm going to start cleaning up at tight end. Kind of in sketchy territory. I have a lot of Kenneth Gainwell shares. And only have 3 wide receivers. Yeah. Not drafting any more running backs. Jacoby Myers or Robinson. Both are good options here. Let's go Myers. Worried about him in the substation, but got to roll with the upside with Pearsall out. I'm good with that. I'll go with that. All right, picks 131, 134. Yeah, I'd love to be able to go back-to-back tight end, go Likely and Ferguson. Don't know if that's gonna happen. I'm stuck going late round tight end. I don't have any problem with it usually. See, I kinda wish I skipped on Chuba because I coulda gone Gainwell and White and gone Mekhi Lemon or Godwin or Addison over Chuba, but I'm okay with that. We're done at running back. Barkley, Javonte, Henderson, Chuba, Gainwell. Only overlapping by is Barkley and Gainwell. We need to get some wide receivers on this team, and I still need another quarterback. Isaiah Likely's gone. No real late round correlation here as the team stands right now. So I'm probably just drafting best available quarterbacks later in this draft. Kind of in a spot where I need to go back to back. Like I need to draft a wide receiver every other selection, though. Got picks 155 and 158 as well. Like to get a Denzel Boston, Jawan Jennings. See what happens right here, though. Pressure's on. This guy in front of me has got a very strange build. Chicken Conquo's gone there. I'm going to reach for Ferguson against ADP and skip on Andrews just for the fact that Dak is on this team. But I think I'm going to go with Andrews again here. And isn't that's the same tight end room I had last draft? I don't really mind that. Only problem with this team is that my backup quarterback's not going to be great. Yeah, J-Dubs, I'll wait for you before the next one too. Next one will probably be the last one of the night, but tomorrow night we'll hop into quite a few more. Well, probably about the same amount as tonight. All right. I was hoping not to look up and see those quarterbacks gone because I kind of blanked on QB here, and we are not looking sharp at wide receiver in terms of depth. That's okay. Kind of a heavy RB team. Usually, probably wouldn't have 3 RBs through the first 5 rounds. Henderson was just a really good value there. Then I knew I had a good chance of getting wide receiver I liked at pick 62. Oh, I don't want to draft CJ Stroud. Yeah, I don't mind those 2 tight ends there. I wanted Sam Darnold. This guy's got no quarterbacks and in Jigba, so that makes sense. Cam Ward, Robinson, pretty good value stacks there, honestly. Goes Denzel Boston. I literally might be drafting CJ Stroud. Who's CJ Stroud or Bryce Young? Just drafted Bryce Young last draft, too. Literally might draft Carson Beck. This might need to be a 3 QB build. Who can I stack late round with Stroud? Right, screw it. Give me CJ Stroud. He's bouncing back this year. I can draft Tank Dell. Is he playing this year? Like, what's the? Yeah, don't love that. Yeah, stacked him with Dell. It's gonna have to be the move here. I'm gonna go Jennings with this next pick. Can definitely reach on Dell a little bit. Where's Dalton Schultz going? Oh, I have to draft him like right now. Oh, the snipe. The snipe. I'm just gonna go Dalton Schultz. Screw it. Oh my gosh, my wide receiver. This team is ruined. I got to draft 4 wide receivers to end. I only got 4 on the squad right now. I really wanted Jennings there. This guy had Kyler though, didn't he? Yeah, that makes sense. Got a lot of Minnesota Vikings. JJ, Kyler, Mason, Jennings. Oh well. I've had worse things happen, I think. I'm used to being sniped. Yeah, I guess Noel's there too. I don't even know if I care about stacking with Stroud. I mean, I got Schultz. Really like Ryan Flournoy this year, says J-Dubs. He's going pretty cheap right now, 163. Man, may as well. I got Dak on this team. If he's there, I'll just take him. I'm literally just taking 4 dart throws at wide receiver to wrap this thing up. All right, boys and girls, one more after this one. Oh, there goes Flournoy. He's gone. I mean, this team isn't awful. Prescott, Stroud, Barkley, Devontae, Hendo, Chuba, Gainwell, Lamb, Higgins, Adunze, Myers, Fergie, Andrew Schultz. So it's a solid team. The quarterbacks can produce, and the wide receivers don't get hurt. Part of me is tempted just to take Aaron Rodgers here. I'm going to do it. Give me Aaron Rodgers. Any late round Steelers? Ooh, I'm going to go Jeremy Bernard. Give me a little Steelers potential stack. All right, 203, 206. It's not pretty. I may have to draft Jalen Noel. Don't really want to. Yeah, I was gonna go Jerry Jeudy there. I mean, I feel like Jerry Jeudy in this point is not bad. Hope my draft doesn't get thrown out. I had a guy in round 16 with 3 running backs. Third RB is Chris Rodriguez. I don't think I'll get thrown out. Wow, Brandon Ayuk has a higher ADP than players that are on teams. That's probably just from early drafts. I feel like it's not entirely accurate anymore. All right, I might go early quarterback the next entry just to offset this one. Had a guy take Allen, Lamar, Burrow, and T-Law. Yeah. That's annoying. What's sad is that there are people out there who think that's like an actual advantage. Like it's not even trolling or anything. Like if I take all the quarterbacks out of this lobby, then like my team's gonna be better. But we all know the story there. Oh, man, this entry was not fun. I was kind of hoping Tank Dell might fall here. Although I'm really not entirely confident that he's going to do anything this year, but I don't know. Like I say every year, it is good to have some teams that you don't feel entirely confident in. All right, I'll go Antonio Williams here. Get some rookie wide receivers. All right, I'm going to try and go Calvin Ridley with this final pick. I also kind of like Tyquan Thornton. In this range. All right, J-Dubs, you ready for the next one? I don't really care how this draft ends. I just want to get my final pick in. All right, give me Calvin Ridley. I didn't love that one. Let me know when you're ready, J-Dubs. All right, we're going to enter one last puppy here to wrap up the night, boys and girls. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Feels good to be getting back in action here. Been trying to get out more content for you guys, but just really trying to get ready for week 1. All right, J-Dubs. Let's enter in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 10 spots. See, there's some good juju there. 7 spots for anyone who wants to join. Let's go. 5 spots for anyone who wants to hop in. All right. Let's see if we got in here. J Dubs. Let's go. At the 1-7. I like it. 2 spots away from each other. J Dub says he's going CMC. Nothing wrong with that. Who am I going with? Amon Ra? Like JSN, but not as much this year. Don't forget, that was my guy last year. I think if I'm looking at this year's JSN, probably got a Lave, Lad McConkey in that area. Do you think that T Mac could have a really, really solid year as well? Amon Ra, best value at your pick. I'm never upset with drafting Amon Ra. That's for sure. Also, don't hate going JSN here. All right. Let's go St. Brown. Never hurts. Easy schedule. Should do numbers. I'm all for it. I am all for it. All right. Pick 18 is up next. I might go AJ Brown. I kind of want an AJ Brown share. A-Chain, AJ Brown, basically at the same ADP, 18.3, 18.7. Could maybe see a Derrick Henry there. Could see a Brock Bowers, Drake Lundo. See what happens. I'd like to start. I might, if I can get AJ Brown, I'm going to go aggro wide receiver. I'm going to go 0 RB. With Walker gone, I'm a little spooked on the Seahawks offense, but anything can happen. Figure defense would key in on him. Yeah, I'm also worried about, no Clint Kubiak. What exactly are we going to get out of this offense? I'm not super worried. I think Jason's still going to have a very good year. But I definitely get what you're saying. Man, good running backs here. Barkley, Hampton, A-Chain. Oh, it's tough for me to pass on Hampton, man. I'm just going to stick to the build, but Hampton's such a good value there. He's got to be next. If not, I was about to say, if not, here's my gift to you, J-Dubs. But even A-Chain's still a great value. I know some people are kind of down on him. But I'm going to go AJ Brown. I'm going to stick to the build. I'm going to go wide receiver again at 31.42. I'm going to have so many injuries. It's not going to bother me. But Hampton, I love Hampton right there. But I love Ending the night with an aggro wide receiver build, 0 RB build, whatever we want to call it. I'm good with it. And this is like a big cluster of wide receiver. Where are y'all on Brooks versus Chuba? I'm on the Chuba train. I'm not quite there with Brooks. I'm just not. And I would just way rather pay the price on Chuba as opposed to the price on Brooks. Well, I guess Chuba's going earlier. But yeah, I mean, they're going like 4 picks apart. I wanted Smitty there. So bad. I'm going to go Zay Flowers, but once again, I really, really like Lad McConkey here. This is a problem when you're like smack dab in the middle. There's just always good available picks. J-Dub says he's avoiding both not great schedules. Yeah. It's just kind of at the price. Like if they're your RB4, RB3, I believe in Chuba being the guy. All right, pick 42. But to be fair, I mean, last year we saw Chuba and Rico, so I really won't be surprised if we see like a similar split this year. I get into spots where I punted RB a bit. I find myself splitting shares between the two. I think their ADP is about to flip on Underdog. Yeah, I was actually a little bit surprised. I feel like Brooks has been more popular to draft. I would love to see T-Mac fall here. I doubt he's going to fall. There's some good running backs here. But I want to start with 4 wide receivers. Pretty sure T-Mac's going to go right here at the 4-5, though. Oh, I'm very happy with T-Mac there. Yeah, I love this start for this specific build. Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, Zay Flowers, T-Mac. Did you guys go Lad McConkey or Zay Flowers? It's the only one that was close for me. Obviously, Hampton in general, I probably would go over AJ Brown, but for this build, I'm happy with that. Why did I pick AJ Brown over Hampton? Great question. Yeah, I really just wanted to do a 0 RB build. You know, we're going to have so many drafts, so many entries that I want to switch up the strategies. That's all it was. I love Hampton there. Hampton at pick 19 is a crazy value. If you were to go back and rewind, I was close to breaking the strategy that we went into this draft with of starting aggro wide receiver, but just decided to stick with the strategy. Already have Hampton in 1 draft tonight. But yeah, I love him there. I mean, it is just for the build. But in general, like in a redraft format, I'm probably going Hampton there 99.9% of the time. Slightly in the Zay because literally no one else to throw the ball to. Yeah, I mean, I think Mark Andrews will get some, and I think that there will be a wide receiver 2 that emerges, whether it's Jacoby Lane or Elijah Surratt. Maybe Rashad Bateman. Maybe. All right, question here is, do I go 5 wide receivers to start or do I select a running back? Josh Jacobs still, there he goes. I will say if Devontae Adams is here at pick 55, then I'm going to take Adams. Outside of that, okay. Good pick, Jacobs. Good pick. Like, I feel like I need to go running back. I'm gonna go Juckins. How do you guys feel about Bucky? Because I've been pretty low on Bucky. But it's starting to feel like in some drafts he's like a very good value. Like, I'm low on Bucky. I don't know if I'm this low on Bucky, but I guess it's pretty appropriate when you look at the names. Monty, Tootin, Jacobs, Hendo, Juckins. Makes sense. Andrew's been terrible through our camp, but he's still going to get thrown to. You know, it's like that's Lamar's guy. Yeah, I wouldn't say playing around, necessarily, but just doing some different strategies. But yeah, in general, Hampton is the correct pick there. But I do really like AJ Brown still going into the year. Yeah, it is kind of funny that Mark Andrews just got rewarded with like another contract. Like he's just Lamar loves him. It's a Ravens like veteran player. I don't know. I don't disagree with the sentiment there. Take when I go late running back. Offensive line rankings is pretty high. Only questions availability and TD value. Yeah, and my problem is I'm going to draft a lot of Kenneth Gainwell late. So I'm just going to see that as like the better selection between the two. All right, part of me might go wide receiver here. And then just hammer out running back, get a tight end in the middle, go late round QB. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to go Price. I'm going to go Price. Happy with that pick. But yeah, like Brian Thomas, Marvin Harrison. They're not going to be here when I draft again. And I like both those guys. All right, so now looking to pick 79. Might be going back to running back, but it's not very like I feel like I'd rather wait. But I can only wait so much longer. There's really nothing left. So I might have to reach. I might go tight end. I got to figure out who my quarterback's going to be. I'm okay with this start, but now we're getting into a little tricky situation. J-Dub's wide receiver 3 is Marv. Hopefully you're not trash. I mean, I love him at his value. I think he's a great pick at his value. Yeah, I might just go QB here. We got some good quarterbacks available. But that means good things for later rounds. All right, it's a little bit against ADP, but I still love him. I'm going Cortland Sutton as my wide receiver 5. Also gives us the opportunity to go Bo Nix late. So I'm okay with that. It was a weird tier. Chuba was the only other player that I really liked there. But I drafted a lot of Chuba tonight. Oh, man, I really got to watch running backs on week 11 bye. Judkins and Price in the same bye week. Man, I might just punt quarterback. I just can't, though. Can't. I had to punt tight end, though. It's always pretty till it's not. And Caleb Williams sitting right here. Hard to pass on him. I'm going to go Rico Dowdle. Probably going back to running back at 103. This little tier of running back. Blake Corum, J.K. Dobbins, Kyle Monangai, Kenny Gainwell, Rashad White, Jordan Mason is still very intriguing to me. All right, interesting little start we got here. So a lot of people in similar ADPs here that I like a lot. I find myself consistently passing on Alec Pierce. Am I crazy for that? All right, 8th round wrapping up. Blake Corum, Jonathan Brooks. Dobbins, Monangai. Like I said, I like that little tier running back. Into the 9th we go. Goes Purdy. Stafford, running backs getting, or quarterbacks getting a little thin. I didn't even notice that was you, J-Dubs. That's like, see, I like Alec Pierce, a wide receiver 4. Oh no, we're glitching. Are we glitching? All right, we're good. Oh, this next pick is real dicey, boys and girls. Real dicey. I'm going to just go Jared Goff. I'm going to just take the stack. I don't want to come out of these next 2 picks without Goff or Bo Nix. I know Jackson Dart's available, but I want the stack. There goes Dart. Team with Scadaboo. Who do you like at the 1-4? I prefer running back first, but IDK yet. Yeah, if you're going to go running back there, it's probably going to be McCaffrey. If you want to start with CMC, I think that's completely fine, but I'm more inclined to Jamar Chase or Puka Nacua. Arguably even JSM. But if you want to go CMC, I got no problem with it. No problem with it. No. Kenny Gainwell. I've drafted a lot of Kenneth Gainwell. I probably need to stop. But yeah, looking to the 2-9 to 3-4, you're looking at players like Lundo, Jacobs, Rice, Bowers, Collins, Pickens, Olave, Kyron. Oh, Rashad White gone too. And Bo Nix. Everyone wiped out here. I'm going Kyler Murray. I'm getting quarterback locked. Oh my gosh, they have the same bye week. Didn't even check. So yeah, if you were to go CMC at the 1-4, can turn around, get like a Drake London, Rasheed Rice, Nico Collins at 2.9, maybe an AJ Brown. Then in the 3-4, get like a Neighbors, T Mac. Okay with that. Vice versa. If you go Puka, Chase is probably going to be gone. If you go Puka, St. Brown, Lambs, JSN at 1-4, turn around, get another wide receiver that we just listed, or go double running back. But the double running back tier there is kind of eh. So if anything, I'd probably go double wide receiver, Puka, somebody from that tier of Lundo, Rice, Collins, Pickens, Olave, Neighbors. Then go running back, get a Kyron, a Javonte. Then go into like the Quinshon Junkins, Travion Henderson, DeAndre Swift area. I think Amon-Ra is fine if that's your guy there. But I'm a little bit more partial to Puka. As much as I like Amon-Ra, and I've been a huge Amon-Ra guy forever. All right. Probably don't want to read too much into it, but the Giants offense has been terrible in camp so far. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been like, I like Neighbors. I still believe in Neighbors. I like that he's at a little bit of a discount. I like Isaiah Likely too. Those are the main two guys on that roster that I got no problem drafting. Scatterbo worries me. There are other names in that range that I like a little bit more. And yeah, I'm not really huge on drafting Jackson Dart, especially in redraft. Let's just get Bill. Give me some Bill. Oh, 10-man league. Basically the same concept applies. Could push back some of those tiers. I listed enough players that it shouldn't be too scatterbrained there. Wow, that was loud. Swift is my most drafted running back. Let's go. It's because Swift is the GOAT, bro. It's because Swift is the GOAT. Players I can't avoid. Swift, Rashad White, Devonta Smith. Apparently Kenneth Gainwell. Yeah, what's crazy is Amon-Ra has been the wide receiver 3 for 3 years in a row. So it's like there's nothing wrong with him being the pick. But I'm still inclined to go Puka there. All right. I wanted Likely or Ferguson. I kind of risked it there. Not a smart move. Not a smart move. This team is very strong. Side of running back. And tight end. If we hit on the right guys, we're still in line here. All right, just give me Chig. We're rolling with Chig. But there are some late round tight ends that I do think have some value. Swift is a GOAT. I've been telling you guys this for years. Man, I'm going to have to repeat this strategy. Oh, yeah, I still got to take another quarterback. See, like, what I should have done is I should have gone Hampton over A.J. Brown. Then I could have gone B. Tom or Marvin Harrison over Price. I'd probably feel a lot better about this team. Because then I wouldn't have taken Bill. I would have gone tight end there. Probably would have been a little bit of a better build. But that's okay. I was drafting Tootin a lot until today. I think his ADP probably falls a bit after the timeshare news from their scrimmage today. Yeah, I haven't been incredibly high on Tootin at all throughout the course of this offseason. Like, at all. I just think he's being drafted a little bit too high. I understand why he's being drafted where he's going, but it's a tough pick here. Because I kind of like Brenton Strange. He's got the same bye week as Chig, but I feel like I can't really worry about that right now. Okay. All right, screw it. Just give me Jennings. Let's get a little stack with Kyler. Even though the last thing I need right now is wide receivers. Range is just weird with Bucky, Judkins. I think they all have glaring red flags. Yeah, Judkins is my guy in that range. I like Henderson more in best ball, but I do agree. Like this tier, like I'm pretty partial to Javonte, Etienne, Swift. I think there's a tier break here. Monty, Tootin, Jacobs could argue maybe a little bit higher, but especially like Monty, Tootin, Hendo, Judkins. I feel like Scadabo is kind of in that range. Bucky, but Judkins is my favorite of the bunch. I just feel like he could be due for like a true workhorse year. Got sniped on Daniel Jones. I do feel like Daniel Jones is a very good value where he's going in drafts right now. What he would have been your QB2. Yeah, that's probably. Oh, you got Pierce. That's right. I mean, Denzel Boston's still a great pick there. Think about Amon-Ra, Puka, CMC. Yeah. And the good news is you really can't go wrong. They're all great selections. Do we know a timetable on Charbonnet? Because I really want to I'm really thinking that Charbonnet. Oh, well, there goes Charbs. Okay. I'm going to go Hunter Henry, especially because we got A.J. Brown on this team. I still need running backs. I mean, there's nothing there. Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is once you get past Bryce Young and Aaron Rodgers, Mendoza, I guess Geno Smith. I mean, you got Jacoby Brissett, Tua, Shadur Sanders, Michael Penix, Deshaun Watson. Then I guess Mendoza included with Kirk Cousins, Carson Beck. You've got these like split quarterback rooms. And one of those later round guys, like, although it's definitely not going to like save your roster, it could actually end up elevating it quite a bit. If said player is a starter for X amount of time. All right, I need desperate help at running back here. Who are your guys' favorite late round running back flyers? Like, I need Braylon Allen on this team. Emmett Johnson. I still need another quarterback. This was just a true zero RB team. Like I gotta hope that Judkins and Jadarian Price carry this team. But if they do, honestly, this team is okay. If the tight ends can score 10 points a week. B-Rob, yeah, I mean, I probably got to kind of look into that. Man, I wanted AJ Barner. I think AJ Barner's definitely my favorite late round sleeper. Tight end. But yeah, I kind of probably got to look at some handcuffs here. I hate all these players. All of them. Everyone I want is gone. Give me Hawkinson. Oh my gosh, did I miss my pick? Oh my gosh. All right, I got Emmett Johnson. If you miss your pick, it glitches. I actually wanted Hawkinson too. Maybe he'll last. Probably not. Wow, I just took Emmett Johnson way against ADP. Like 20 picks. Happens to the best of us. Yeah, these running backs are awful. Man, I needed Hawkinson. I totally screwed up that pick. Ran out of time. Could have got this stack there. This guy's got like no tight ends. That makes sense. I literally almost took Geno Smith. Would have been a better pick than Emmett Johnson. Oh man. Taking Jacoby Brissett. Not believing any Carson Beck propaganda. Such a weird team. Who's a little late round tight end? Maybe Eli Stowers? David Njoku? Got to add someone here. I basically need to take two running backs in this team, or running back and tight end. Totally screwed up that Hawkinson pick. Well, overall, thank you guys for hanging out tonight. I said, feels good to be back in action, drafting some squads. Be back on tomorrow night for some more underdog action. Don't know exactly what time. But I'll keep you guys posted on the Discord. J-Dubs, thanks for drafting with me. Good to be back in it with you. Just so pissed I accidentally took Emmett. Like I could draft Emmett Johnson right here at 199. Total miscue. Hawkinson would have really helped this team. Basically left to draft some players here against ADP. Should have really gone maybe for like a Geno Smith, Kenyon Sadiq. Try to pick Sadiq here. Then could have gone Braylon Allen to end. I know Sadiq's got the hernia, but he's supposed to be good. Andrea, thanks for hanging out. If you guys want in on any of the redraft leagues, $20 buy-ins on Sleeper like we do every year, hit me up on Discord. This League 3 might actually be completely full. Might have to move into League 4. I got a couple people who have the invite, but I haven't paid yet. I'm going to go Braylon Allen with this last pick. Ugh. Disastrous draft. Remember the days of 30 seconds per pick? Oh, Braylon Allen's gone. Let's go Kalon Black. I'll go Kamani Vidal. At least we know for sure he's the handcuff to Hampton. And Black has an abductor injury. Not that it's probably going to matter, but. All right, boys and girls. Over 2 hours on the stream. We'll be back tomorrow night, ripping more drafts. Thank you guys for hanging out. Make sure you guys are checking out all the content on the channel. That's going to do it for the night. J-Dub, thanks for drafting. Everyone else who hung out, everyone else who watched the drafts. Thank you guys. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.